Initializing all the variables of a class before creating an object might seem rather boring. Even when we add utility functions like setDemands method, it would be easier and more convenient if all the operations of assigning values of the variables were performed at the initial creation of the object. Java makes it possible through the use of constructors. Like methods, constructors can be parameterized and not parameterized. To create a class constructor, the following syntax is utilized: class name, parameters in round brackets, constructor body in curly brackets. Let's create a constructor without parameters in our box class. We will set the values of length, width, and height equal to 10 by default. Open box class and create a constructor. Write box, round brackets. Our first constructor will not be parameterized, so we will leave the brackets empty. Now open curly brackets. In the constructor body, assign the values of length, width, and height equal to 10. Type width equals 10, height equals 10, length equals 10. Now let's create a new box in method main. Delete all the code written previously. Write box, assign symbol, new box. After the assign symbol, write new, and then the class name and round brackets. Thus, we create a constructor without parameters. Earlier, we have written it the same way because if we do not create a constructor ourselves, Java will do it for us, and it will create a constructor without parameters. Here we will assign all the fields the default values. That is, all numbers will equal 0, all boolean will equal false, all reference type variables will equal null. Since we have created a constructor, Java will call it and assign the values which we have specified in the constructor. Let's check this. Call volume method and print out the volume of the box. Type systemout.println box.volume. Run the code. You can see that the volume is 1000. Let's create a new box and call it box2. Assign it a value, new box. Print out its volume. Run the program and you can see that its volume equals 1000. Since we are using a constructor which has the initial values assigned, it's no use. All our boxes are created identical in size and we will still have to assign their real values later. In this case, we will profit if we make use of a parameterized constructor. The parameters will be length, width, and height. We have already done something of this kind during our previous lesson, when we studied parameterized methods. Now let's create a parameterized constructor. It is done the same way. Go to class box, delete the constructor we already have, and create a new one. Write box, round brackets, and within them specify the parameters we want to pass when the object is being created. They will be width, height, and length. Just like in setDemands method, the names of the instance variables are the same as the names of the parameters, so that the program understands that we are assigning values of the instance variables and nothing else. We should use keyword this. This.width, assign symbol, width. This.height, assign symbol, height. This.length, assign symbol, length. Go to main method and see that there is an error. Now we cannot create a new object simply leaving the brackets empty, because we have created our own parameterized constructor, and the default constructor is no longer created. If we want to create a new object, we must call the parameterized constructor itself and pass it all the required arguments. Let's pass it the length, width, and height. Let them be 10, 15, and 20. Remember that you can check the order of the arguments by pressing Ctrl+P. So here we can see that the first one is width, then height, then length. Run the program and you can see that there is no error and our data are printed out. Constructors for passing values to fields are quite common. Therefore, IntelliJ IDEA features a way of doing it very fast. Let's open Box class, delete the constructor we have just created, and press Alt-Insert. Now select Constructor menu item and select all the fields we want to initialize. We will initialize all the fields, so select all of them. To do this, press and hold Ctrl button, select the fields and click OK. That's it, our constructor has been created. It's time for homework assignment. Create class employee. It will contain 3 fields, name, job, and salary. Create a parameterized constructor, which will initialize all the fields for you. Then add a method with the parameter of the int type. It will return a line. This line must contain the following: name and employee's name, job, their job in the last I months where I is accepted from a parameter, has earned an amount of rubles. This amount is calculated from their salary multiplied by argument I. Then create an employee in main class. Call the method for him and pass 12 months as an argument. Print the result on the console. The example of the call: employee, assign symbol, new employee, name Ivan, job programmer, salary 50,000. For this employee, call method getInformation and save the result in string variable info. Then print out this information on the console. As a result, we must have such a line printed out: employee Ivan, job programmer, over the last 12 months has earned 600,000 rubles. Good luck! See you in our next lessons.